See
This
here,
conference will now be
we have
recorded.
worked on tables, table methods. We have seen all the methods of a table and how to work with them. So today we will see how to customize the existing tables. Okay. For example, you can see there are a lot of standard tables here. For example, if I go to the tables and if I expand the tables, you can see there will be a lot of standard tables. Is that right? There are a lot of standard tables. So how to work with them? Now you can see this belongs to application suite, fiscal books. This belongs to fiscal books model. This belongs to subs ledger. This belongs to source documentation. Like this, there are a lot of tables. There are a whole lot of tables which are standard. So how to customize them? How to customize them? It's not a big deal again. It's very simple. Coming to the customizations, if you want to customize a standard piece of code, if you want to customize a standard piece of code, it's very simple, I can say. Okay, it's very simple. But how to do that? So if it is a table, for example, we will take some example and then we will build it. Okay, let me open the note, OneNote, and then let me create a new page and let's call it as table extensions. Okay. Now here I will add, let's say we have a sales order. Okay. First of all, let's take the sales order. So what is a sales order? Whenever you're trying to purchase something from a Flipkart, or it might be Amazon, or it might be anything else. What do you call it? It's a sales order. Is it right? It's a sales order for them. So they will create a sales order. Okay. And sales order will go in a process, picking, packing, shipping, invoice, all this, it will go in a process. So now, when you are trying to purchase something, let's say from Flipkart, what he will do? You will have something called quantity, and this quantity, either it can be one or two or something. If it is more than that, he will not allow you to purchase. Is that right? He will not allow you to purchase. Similarly, let's say you are trying to purchase with Amazon Pay. What he will do? If the amount is greater than 10,000, he will not allow you to purchase. It should be less than 10,000. So what is this? These are the validations that will be taken care. So how to write these validations? And these validations will be per customer. These validations will be per customer because some customers will finish the KYC, some customers will not finish them. And some customers are the regular customers, some customers are the irregular customers. So like this, there will be a lot of parameters set by the Amazon or Flipkart, or it might be any of the shopping management system. So we need to do the similar thing here. How to do that? Whenever, let's say, the customer is trying to buy something, we need to set the values called min threshold, and then we need to set the value called max threshold. Okay, max threshold, and we need to set these values at a specific value. And if it is not meeting that value, obviously we need to throw the error. If the customer does not meet that value, then we need to throw the error. And what we need to do is we need to make them global, and then we need to define this per customer. If the values are set per customer, if the value is set for that particular customer, then we need to use it. If the value is not set for customer, then we need to take the global value. So how to define these values? If you go to the front end, let me open the front end. On the front end, we have the sales order, we have the customers, and we can see all those information here. We can see all those information. Let's see that. Now you can see this is the front end. And here let me open the modules. You can see accounts receivable. This is a module which contains all the customers. Let me open this customer details. Okay. And in this customer details, currently I will not add it to the screen because sometimes people used to ask me, oh, I don't want to add it to the table, I want to add it to the screen. You can do that. That's up to you again. If you want to add it to the screen, you can do that. If you want to add it to the table, you can do that. That's possible. Okay. First of all, I want to add it to the table and then I want to show you how to do that. Now you can see these are the this is the customer information. And here you can see this is the customer account. Now I want to, let's say, add to this table. How to do that? If you right click anywhere, you will have something called form information. And what is the form name? The form name is cust table. So whatever we need to do is we need to go to the back end and then you can go to the user interface and you can go to the forms. Here you need to find a form called cust table. As the name indicates, this is used to store the information of the customers here. Now let me open this in the designer mode and then let's check what are the fields, what are the data sources that are available. Okay, what are the data sources that are available? Let's see. Just a second, it's loading. Let it load. Okay, we will see what are the data sources and then we will plan how to add it. Now you can see here, you can see the data sources for the form. Cost table, you can see there are a lot of things. And as the name indicates, cost table. The cost table is used to store the customer information. So if you want to do something per customer, then where you need to store that? You need to add it to the cost table. Oh, good. Per customer, this is fine. Then what about the universal thing? I told you that we can add it universally. For all the customers, it should be applicable. If we are not defining at the customer, it should be applied at the all the customers. You can see there is something called parameters. And in this parameters table, one company, one record. One company, one record. That is what is the parameters table for each company. Okay, if you are making it shared, there will be only one record in the parameters table and then that is shared across all the companies. If it is per company, one table. So here you can see this is the table which we are going to use. You can see the customer and you can see the customer information here. So whatever we need to do is we need to customize this. So how to do that? Right click, form information, form name is cust parameters. Now go to that particular form, cust parameters, and then open this in the designer mode and then check what are the data sources. What are data sources? Data sources are used to display the data. Now data sources, you have sales parameters, you have cost parameters. Now again we need to decide. Now you can see this many data sources. Where exactly we need to place? We are doing something related to the customer. So where we need to place? Cust means customer parameters. So what do we need to customize now? We need to customize the cust parameters table and we need to customize the customer table. Again, that's a big deal. How to do that? To do that, go to Application Explorer and go to Tables, and then you will see the table called cust parameters. Cust parameters. Check. Right click on Create Extension. By default, this Create Extension will be disabled. Whatever you need to do is you have the application suite here. You need to add this application suite as the referenced package. Otherwise, this Create Extension will be disabled. So now click on Create Extension. It will create an extension for us. Good, it has created. Next, cast table. Right click, create extension. It has created. Done. Now let me open this cast parameters. You can see the naming convention. Table name dot model name. This is the naming convention. What is the naming convention? Table name dot model name. Now in the fields, as I told you, I want to add how many fields? Only 2 fields. Remember, as per best practice, you should not add more than 10 fields. I am adding a new real field. I got it. Go to properties. I will call this as min threshold. I will call this as min threshold. And if you want to add the ADT, you can add it here. I don't want to do that. Okay. Because you know all the best practices. Max threshold. So min threshold is the minimum amount. Max threshold is the maximum amount. Oh, now I can see there are a lot of existing fields. Now let's see. I want to delete this field. Right click. There is no delete. Remember, in AX 2012, we used to have wings. We can do whatever we want. Whereas in case of Dynamics 365, you can't do that. You can't delete the existing fields. Oh, and coming to the customization, you can only customize few of the properties. You can modify the EDT, you can modify the label, you can modify the help text. Okay, you and group prompt. Only there will be few properties which you can modify for the field level. And similarly, now let's say I have the field group and I can see there are a lot of field groups here. I want to add these two fields. Okay, min threshold, max threshold. Right click, copy, and let's say I want to add it to the field group. Auto lookup, paste. Can you see this? You can add the new fields to the existing field group. Whereas if you go and check, I have the general here. Okay, I want to delete this. You can't do that. And you can't delete the field group. You can't delete the fields in the field group. If you want to add new fields, you can do that in a table extension and field group level. Now indexes. Indexes, no, can't delete. There is no deletion. You can't modify any of the properties. If you want to create a new index, you can create. Existing indexes are not customizable, but you can work with new indexes. Please remember this. Next, you can create a full text index. You can do that. Next, relations. If you want to create a new relation, you can create the relations. At relations, there is no restriction. And currently, we will not define delete actions here because we will define delete actions along with the relations. So there is no need of defining the delete action in the delete action node. State machine, not allowed. You can't create a new state machine on the existing table. Mappings, they are allowed. If you want to create a new map and then use it, you can create a new map and then you can use it. Methods. Oh, new methods are not allowed here. There is other way to create a methods for a table extension. We will see that within a minute. Events. We can use any number of events. You can see there are events here. Okay. We will come back to the events within a minute. Okay. Now we have created two fields and now we know what all things we can customize and what all things we cannot customize in the table extension. Now let me open the another table and let me go to the fields and let me paste it. Okay, done. Now see here, min threshold and max threshold. Good. Okay. Now let's say, yes,
Kumar, I have a question here.
yes.
Sorry, I missed that part. Like, if we want to show these two fields in the form, why we are taking two tables? We could have done in only cast table. Parameter. I mean, I got it. You are telling about parameter. You went
See
to,
here, one is
yeah.
global and the second one is local. Okay.
Yeah.
So for all the customers, the information will be stored in cust parameters. That's a parameters table, which hello one
Okay.
record. Okay. Whereas
Okay.
coming to the cust table, it is specific to the customer. Okay.
And 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 one more thing. So basically, how do we know that? For example, we are getting a requirement.
Huh.
So how do you know that this should be go to global and all?
That based on the requirement you need to decide. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
That's
okay.
what I
Yep.
showed you. Based on the requirement you need to decide. Okay. Now
Yeah.
see here.
Okay. Thanks.
Now coming to this one, we have created the table extensions. We know that we can add it to the field groups. We can create new indexes. We can create new field groups. In that field groups, we can add the data. We can create new relations. We cannot create state machines, but we can create new mappings. Now it's time to come to the methods. Coming to the methods, there is a separate way to add the method. Okay. To do that, you need to create a new class. Okay. Okay, you need to create a new class and you need to call that as AMA customers or the table name. Take the table name AMA cust parameters underscore extension. Okay, this is the table extension. Now how to tell the kernel that this is a table extension? To tell that, we have an attribute called extension of. Okay, what is the attribute? Extension of. We need to use this attribute, and in this we need to say table str, and in the bracket You need to write cust parameters. Okay, cust parameters. This is how you need to write. And now in this cust parameters, you need to make this final, because whenever you are creating an extension, the extension is not inheritable. Okay, extension is not inheritable. Okay. Oh, what is this? I got some error. It says bracket expected. Okay, I'm missing one more bracket. Good. Okay, extensions are not inheritable, extension classes. So you need to make it final. Now let me write some custom method. I don't want to write some standard method initially. I want to write some custom method. I will call it as public void custom method. Okay, so this is my custom method, and I will simply display info, and then I will say custom method called with cust parameters. Okay, because I want to show you that even if you are writing the custom methods, once you create a extension out of it, you should be able to call it using this custom method. Let's see. Let me view code of this one, and then let me simply comment this out, and I want to use cust parameters, and then cust parameters. I will say cust parameters dot custom method. Can you see this? Can you see this? You can call the custom methods, but I have used the standard table. This is how we create a custom methods. Okay, if you want to create a custom method for a table extension, okay, for a standard table, you can create a custom method and you can use it using the same cust parameters, because this is the extension of cust parameters. Please remember this. This is very, very important. Okay, now let's say I have created two fields. Now I want to initialize them with default values. How to do that? So what is the method that will get called when you are creating a new record in a table? What is the method? Can anyone tell me? Which method will get called here? Which method? Exactly, init value.
Init. Okay.
Okay, you can say this init value. So there are multiple ways with which you can create the data. What are those ways? First way and the preferred way is called chain of command. What is that? The first way and the preferred way is called chain of command. Okay, what is chain of command? Again, this is a big confusion to everyone. What is chain of command? See here, now let's say I have the cust parameters table. Where is it? Okay, cust parameters. And if I view the code, I have the init value. I will take the same init value method here. And please remember, the chain of command will work only with public and protected methods. Okay, chain of command will work only with public and protected methods. Chain of command will not work with
Private
private
method.
methods. Please remember this. This is very, very important. Okay, I think it is formatting the selection. Let it do that. And we need to take the same signature of the method from whatever the parent table you have, which is cust parameters. Just a second. Now here you need to paste it. Done. Done. We are done with the chain of command. Oh, it is throwing error. What is that? Chain of command method must contain one next call. Okay. Whatever you need to do is you need to use next, and then you need to write init value. So what this next init value will do? What next init value will do is whenever it comes at this next statement, it will go and execute the code of cust parameters. Okay, it will come back and it will execute the code of this cust parameters, and then it will come back to the this one. Now here, what I will do is, if you want to set some values, okay, let's say first of all I want to use some variable called a equal to 10, okay, and after the next I want to print info, or we will see it's a is a variable here, so we will see the value whether it exists or not. Okay, so this is how we will use the next method. Okay, next keyword and then init value. This is how we write the chain of command. And please remember, the next statement should be unconditional. The next statement should be unconditional. Now this is a separate class which is a table extension, so I want to use min threshold and max threshold. Let's see this dot min threshold, can you show this, equal to, I will say 1000. So minimum purchase that should be done by the customer in a global fashion is 1000. This dot max threshold equal to, I will say some 6000. So the customer can purchase between 1000 to 6000, which is a global value. Okay, now you can see you can use this and then you can call whatever you want, all the global variables. Okay, so what is the benefit of chain of command? The benefit of chain of command is you can use the global variables. Okay, you can use the global variables, and the second one is variable before calling standard method can be used after calling standard method. Okay, these are the advantages of chain of command, because chain of
One
command
question.
is
One
wrapping.
question.
Okay, go
Uh,
ahead.
why can't we use super? Why you have to use the next year in this?
See here, as per what do you call this, the standard, na, they have given next. Okay, this is not inheritance, this is extension. The concept of extension is different, the concept of inheritance is different. If it is inheritance, then you can use super. Okay, but here the concept is extension. As it is extension, we are using next. Got it?
Okay.
Now see here, these are the benefits of working with chain of command, and this is the preferable way. If you want to work, this is the preferable way of getting the data. Okay, and I told you there are few more ways. What are those? You can use the second way. The second preferred way is events. Okay, if you want to create events, okay, what you need to do is you need to create a new class again, because most of the times I saw the developers who will be creating extension and who will be copying events, event handlers and everything into it, but that should not be done. You need to separate the extension, you need to separate the events, you need to separate the event handlers. Okay, you can call AMA cast parameters events. Okay, I'm calling it as cast parameters events. Click on the add button. Okay, now in this, what I will do is I will go to the cast parameters table, and then I have a events here, and you can see there are a lot of events for everything. For example, let's take the init. Okay, on initialized record, on initialized record, on initializing record, before and after. Please remember, I will take both the events, copy event handler and then paste it over here. This is called data event handler. Now you can see I'm getting the record here, common sender. So what I need to do, I need to take cast parameters and then cast parameters equal to, I need to copy this sender and then I need to write as cast parameters. Okay, because that is common, so I am saying whatever the sender I got, the sender is type of cast parameters. Now what you need to do is you need to say cast parameters dot min threshold equal to 1000, or if you want to define some other value, let's say 500. If you want to find the difference, you can do that. Okay, but I am giving because I will show you the method calling sequence for this. Okay, and then cast parameters dot max threshold equal to 6000. Okay, now you will get a doubt again. Okay, we are doing here and there. What is the difference? Now let's say this will get before calling the init value, super of the init value. Now if I create a variable here, if I want to use it somewhere else, can I do that? No. If I want to use a global variable, can I use that global variable here? Not possible. Okay, that is the drawback of event. Okay, and this is also a event, copy event handler. Now let me paste it over here, and here as well you have the sender. You can do the same thing. Okay, see here, I will show you the sequence, or if you want to modify the value now, I will do that. I will say 5500, and then 1000. I will say 600, and then 900. Okay, so that you will see how the value will get changed and how the events and event handlers will get called. Okay, so this is the second way. So what is the second way? The second way is events. Okay, there are pre-existing events available for table methods in D365. Use them if COC is not possible. Please remember, if you are not able to work with COC, then only go for events. Okay, hey, you need to get the customer record here. That is what is the table record in the center, common table buffer. Okay, and the next one is event handlers. Okay, this is a different concept again. Okay, this is a different concept again. Now if you see here, if I go to the same cust parameters table, now you can see there are a lot of methods. Okay, you don't want to go with any of this, then what you can do is you can right click, copy event handler method. You have pre and post event handler. Now I will take the same init value, copy event handler method. I will take the pre event handler. Now I will create one more class. Click on the add button, new item, and we will call this as AMA cast param event handler. This is how you need to define. Okay, and here you can paste it. Okay, now yeah, I'm getting the args. Now how to get the record from arguments here? This is a big deal. Okay, now let's see. I will take cast parameters and then cast parameters equal to args dot. Okay, you will have, oh, there is no record. Let me check, get this. Yeah, args dot get this. This will get the record. Okay, in this get this, if it is a class, it will get the class. If it is a, if you are getting these arguments from the form, it will return the form run. If it is a table, it will return the table buffer. Okay, please remember, because this will represent the current one. Extensions are disabled by default. How to enable it? I didn't get your question, but I think you are asking about this one. If I right click, create extension is disabled. How to get it? That's what I said. You can see the model name, data import export application. You need to add this to the referenced package. Then you will get it. Okay. Next. Now see here, I want to set cast parameters dot, we have minimum threshold equal to from 150, and then cast parameters dot max threshold equal to 250. Okay, why I'm writing the values differently and why I'm showing all this is only one reason, because you will know what will get called first and what will get called at the end. We will debug and we will see. Okay. Now init value, copy event handler, post event handler, and go to this one again, paste it over here, take this, and then paste it. Here you can say 250, and then here you can say 350. Done. Now we are done. Now we are done. Now what we will do is we will open the cust parameter table and create one record, and we will see the method calling sequence. It will be very interesting. Okay. I am adding breakpoints everywhere. Okay. For this, I will add it this position. 1 second. I don't know why. Okay, it's taking some time. Okay. And this is the extension. I will add a breakpoint here. This method I am not going to call here. You need to simply create a project and you can run it. A simple job. Okay. Now let me check one more option. Debugging, and go to options, because in the Dynamics 365 now you can load only symbols. Okay. It is loading everywhere. Let me do a checkout across the project or solution. Done. Now let me do a rebuild. Oh, anyways, we want the breakpoints now, so let me run this as well. Instead of attaching the process, we can do this as well. There are multiple ways, so let me run. That's not a big deal. Okay, because you will also see how the custom methods can be written. Yeah, now it will take anyways some time because that is a standard table and it needs to again sync. So let's wait for a minute.
Yes, Kumar. In the meanwhile, can you repeat what does this argument plays during event handler method?
I didn't get your question. Argument?
No, you were explaining about how that arg came, and you said something.
Oh, about this one, args.getThis. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
See here, whenever you are trying to work with any method, you will have the
Mhm.
arguments. Okay. By default, even it might be a class, even it might be a form, it might be a table, or whatever it might be, you will have arguments. Okay. That arguments will contain the information of that particular AOT object. Okay. So if I am using args.getThis, it will retrieve the information of that object and then it will assign it to this one. So here I am using this for cust parameters. So I know I am going to get cust parameters. If I use args.getThis, I will get cust parameters. This is how it works.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
I have a question. What is the difference between data event handler and method event handler?
Data event handler is predefined by using events. Okay, that's the new concept in Dynamics 365. Okay, data event handler is not there in AX 2012. Events are the new concept in Dynamics 365, and if you want to use them, you can subscribe to the event. You can see here, these are the events. For example, if it is deleted, you have on deleted, on deleting. Whereas coming to the post and pre-event handlers, they are already available in AX 2012 as well. If you want to create a event handler, you need to simply right click the method and you need to copy the event handler. Okay, and there is one difference between both of them. We will see that within a minute because I want to open the table and then I want to show you. Okay, because the calling sequence will change for event handlers and then events.
Also, in case of COC, you said we can only work with public and protected members. So what does
COC,
it
you can
mean?
work with public and protected methods in the sense. Now you can see this init value is the public method. So what I can do, I can simply copy the signature of this public method and I can create a chain of command. Similarly, you will have the protected methods in a class. Okay, you can create COC for that protected method because the extension will work like inheritance. Okay, let's say you have the arithmetic class and then you have the scientific class. Can you use private methods of arithmetic class in the scientific class?
No.
This is same. Okay, this is same. So in the extension as well, you can use public and protected methods, whereas private methods, you can't use them in extension. Okay.
Okay. And is there any way? Yes, yes, go ahead.
Using means there are two options. You mean to say we cannot customize
You
private members,
you
or the
cannot
other
customize in
means?
the sense. See here, there are tricks everywhere because you have a concept called reflection. Okay, we have a concept called reflection. Using reflection, we can customize the private method as well, but it is not allowed. It should not be done basically. Okay, which is why I'm not showing you. There is a way. There is a way. If you want to customize the private methods as well, you can do that. We will use reflection and then we can customize the private method, but that should not be done. Got it? Okay.
Also,
Now
we
here,
cannot
yep.
access. Also, we cannot access these private members.
Didn't get you. You mean to say we cannot call the private methods?
Yeah, calling.
That you checked. Okay, we will come to the class extensions. We will check that. Don't worry. Wait for us some time. Okay, because we are on the tables itself. We will come to the classes and then we will see that. Okay. Now see here, coming to this cust parameters, I have created the init value and everything. So I have one small issue here. Can anyone tell me what is it? In parameters table, you can create only one record. Okay. So what I will do is I will delete that particular record and then I will recreate it. So I need the data, which is very important for me. Just a second. Because if I want to create a new record in the cust parameters table, I need to have it. Okay. Because it will have only one record, I need to delete that record. Then only it will allow me to create. So let's wait for a minute. I will show you. I'm trying to open the SQL as well. Let it open. And in the meantime, I can run this as well because we can see the custom method, whether it is calling or not. Okay. You can see there are 29 records. Now let me go to the data area ID. 1 second. Where data area ID equal to USRT. I got it. Okay. Now it has a lot of fields here. What is this? Mm, most of the things seems to be default. Good. Okay. Now I think the table got opened, and anyways, this is the information that we have. Item. There are a lot of fields. Okay. Let's do one thing. Uh, 1 second. Let me click on the new button because there are a lot of fields, so I don't want to modify that. Let me select new button. And let me check the breakpoints. No, it will not hit. because anyways our record will not get created, it will throw the error. But I want to just see whether the sequence, I want to show you the sequence, because the parameters table will contain how many records? It will contain only one record. Good, it got called. Can you see here? Where did it come first here? Where did it come first? What is this? AMA cust parameters underscore extension. Okay, now let's write the calling sequence. Okay, calling sequence. Okay, so first what it will do? It will call the extension method. Now let me go back and I am pressing F10. The value 10 got assigned. Good. Next init value F11. Okay, where did it go? Public void init value. Okay, now again you will get it out. Okay, here how many extensions are there? There is only one extension. Let's say if there are two extensions and init value is overridden, that means the COC is used for init value in both of them. Then what it will do? Then it will first of all go for the extension 2 and then it will come to extension 1. When next call is present, okay, let me write it down. Now let's say you have extension 1, you have extension 2. In both of them you have the init value. Now what it will do? By default it will go to extension 2 init value. From here it will hit the line where there is a next call. From this next call again it will go to extension 1 init value. From here it will go to standard init value. This is how it works. This is how it works. Now let's see how it will come back, because now we are on the standard init value call. Now let me press F10. Oh, now where did it go? Pre-event handler. Okay, now from cust parameters it went into pre-event handler. You can see the call stack. Now init value line 14. Now can you say this? Before starting the method, it will go into event handler. After extension method, it will go to standard method. Okay, before starting execution of standard method, it will go to pre-event handler. Pre-event handler. Okay, now where is this pre-event handler? Here. Now I got this, the values got assigned. Good. Now press F10. It went into super. Where did it go now? Super. Now again I am pressing F10. It went into the on initializing record. Okay, so here what will happen? After the pre-event handler, start execution of standard method again. And here what it is getting called? Here what is getting called? It is calling event. Okay, and this is on initializing. It is calling on initializing event. Okay, and this is before super. Done. Okay, now we are in the on initializing. Okay, press F10. The values are getting assigned. Good. Sender, we got it. F10. Okay. Oh, where did it go? Yeah, from on initializing. Did it go to main method? Before execution of super code, it will call on initializing. Okay, after super call completed, it will go to again event which is on initialized, here after super. Done. Okay, now the next step. In uninitialized as well, it is executing. Done. Now it is executing the main method. Okay, what it is doing? Okay, execute standard method after super. Next, now let's say I am using F10, it is assigning the values. Done. Okay, and then where did it come back? Post event handler. Can you see this? It came back to post event handler. Okay, it has finished the execution. It has finished the execution, and then it came back to post event handler, and the values are getting assigned in post event handler. Done. The value 250 and 350 got assigned here. Now, where did it come back? Extension method. And then what it is doing? It is assigning the value 1000 and 6000 here. Now I want to ask you one small question. Okay, let me run this. I want to ask you one small question. What is chain of command here? Now you can see. Okay, 1 second. It has hit the custom method, nothing other than that. You can simply continue. Okay, now let us see the values. Come on, minimum, maximum. Max threshold 6000, min threshold 1000. Now I want to ask you one thing. I told you to use chain of command. Why I told you to use chain of command? After seeing all this data, you should tell me. And it called the custom method here. That's well and good. Anyways, it will do that. I want to tell you why I have asked you to use chain of command. What is the benefit? Now see here. Here there is only one extension, so this is the sequence. If there are two extensions, what it will do? Now it will execute extension 1 after next, and then it will execute extension 2 after next. Now if you ask me if there are two extensions, this is the sequence guaranteed? I can't say that, because in case of chain of command, let's say you are creating multiple extensions and you are using multiple times, then it can call in any sequence. That sequence is not guaranteed. Please remember. Okay, now you need to tell me what is the benefit of chain of command. And I told you to use chain of command and don't go for events and event handlers. First preference should be given to chain of command. Why? Because COC is the wrapper. Can you say this? The standard method, the events, the event handlers, everything is wrapped into one single method, which is COC, chain of command. Okay, which is why chain of command is preferred. So what it will do is it will wrap up the entire piece of code that belongs to that method, and then that wrap is executed, and before that execution of that wrap, whatever the variables you have, you can use that variables after the wrap. You can use that variables after the wrap. If you see here, that is what is this int a. This a equal to 10 is there here, and even if you use that a equal to 10 at this point, you will have the same value, and you pass this value and you can do whatever you want with this value. That is the benefit of using chain of command. Okay, and this is how the post event handler, pre event handler, events, COC will work with tables. Okay, do you have any questions?
Yes, Kumar, I have a lot.
Yeah,
I
go
got,
ahead.
confused between the scheme because there was, use fluctuation. Okay, so first thing I noticed that we created a class, then we define a table, and then we call the method of that table or something like that.
See here, this is a custom
No,
method. So first
in
what
the
we have done is,
first one.
Kamal, 1 second. First, what we have done is we have created a custom method, and then we have seen whether that custom method is accessible to standard piece of code or not, and we found that it is accessible. Okay,
No, no, no.
so this is the first point. Now the second point
So
is
this is class or what?
this is a class. This is table methods, runnable class. Yeah, this is a job.
This is
If
table
I need to
method.
show you the execution
That,
of this custom method, I need
no,
job,
no.
na. This is one.
That's okay. Okay, this is fine.
Next,
Next one, is it possible to define the values inside the standard field using the
that's what we have
extension?
done, na.
Oh, that is
That's what we
our
have done.
customized field.
We have
But we
created
can
a,
do.
yes, I
These
have
are the
created two fields,
customized.
min threshold and max threshold, in a
I mean to
standard
say
table,
in
and
the
then I have added the
standard
values.
field. No, no, Kumar, I asked, can we assign values to inside the standard field?
See here, if you are able
Values.
to, 1 second, Kamal, see here, what I have done, I have created two fields and assigned the values. If I am able to assign to this fields, why can't I assign to this one? You can do that. This is what I'm saying. Okay,
Okay.
you can do that. If you want to
Because
set first parameters dot auto
today you
settle,
explain a lot, but the navigation between of the screen was very fast, so could not get exactly what is happening.
you need to practice this, okay? Because if you want to work with the extensions, it needs a lot of practice. Okay.
You can revisit the video.
Because you need to revisit the video multiple times. If you revisit it only once as well, you would not be able to understand that. You need to revisit the video multiple times.
Last
No,
15 minutes was
actually,
like
Okay.
few things you
Because
explain na, that we will get at that point of time.
last last 10 minutes was
Few
like a
things,
thriller movie climax.
this is what I'm saying.
you need to practice here. That's what you need to do. Because coming to the extensions, whenever you are working with the extensions, there is only one thing that you need to remember. Extension, most of the times what people will do is they will simply say extension is inheritance, but extension is not inheritance. Inheritance is different, extensions are different. Okay, there are few differences between both of them. If you want to compare, there are few differences, because whatever you do in the super call, that is different. Whatever that will happen in the next call, that will be different, because here we are defining a whole lot of things. You can see we have defined one chain of command, we have defined initializing event, we have defined initialized event. Okay, I want to show you how it will react before the super. Because what I can do is I can only create a chain of command and then I can show you. But if I create only chain of command, what will happen is you will not know how this will get executed along with chain of command. Okay, chain of command is a key here. When you are working with the chain of command, it is the key to customizations in Dynamics 365. Because what happened is I saw most of the times the developers are using the event handlers, and then they are also using the chain of command. But what will happen? I have defined the same value for minimum threshold and maximum threshold. I have changed the value multiple places. Which got priority? Whatever I have in the chain of command after the next statement, that got the highest priority. And the values were inserted over there because it is a wrap. Chain of command is a wrap, which is why I defined all this before explaining this chain of command. If I don't define them, the people will go and define in the post event handler, and then they will go and open the form and check. There will be a chain of command, the values will be assigned there. There will be a event handler, the values will be assigned there. They will see the values from chain of command and they will not get it. Sometimes the people will declare the values before the next statement, and then they will define the values in the event handler. They will think, okay, I will get from the chain of command, but coming to the values, they will get it from the post event handler. Got it? So you need to write the code, which is why I defined two extensions. Okay, you need to write the code for the second one. This cust table I have defined for you people. Okay, for this cust table, if you write it, then only you will get it. then only you will get it, because these things are very easy but needs lot of practice. Unless and until you practice them, you would not be able to achieve them. To understand all these things now, it takes time. You need to do a lot of practice. Okay, because by default in the interview questions, what they will ask, what is COC? When they ask what is COC, you can simply say, in COC we can access the global variables. COC is a wrap, and COC we can use the variable before and after. Whereas in event handlers that is not possible, in events that is not possible, and in chain of command that is possible. If you say this, they will simply say, oh, you know well about chain of command. Okay, but while writing the chain of command, you will have a lot of situations. For example, I will tell you one situation that I got. Okay, whenever we are working with these extensions, okay, in the standard piece of code, you will find a lot of places. You will have switch, and inside this you will have case 1, and then break, and case 2, break, case 3, break, and then you will have default. Okay, now I used to, in the interviews they will ask a question. Okay, this is the scenario, can you use chain of command or not? Because whenever the question comes to the customization of the standard method, the people will not think anything. They will simply say, I will use chain of command. But chain of command is not going to work here. Yeah, because if you need to write case 4, what will happen? Even if you use chain of command, 2 cases will get executed. One is default case and the other one is case 4. It is of no meaning. So whenever you are getting this kind of tricky questions, if this default is not there, I am saying 99% of the standard class methods where you will see this switch case, there will be no default, because they want to allow the developers to write chain of command for that. Okay, please remember, this is what you need to check, and then you need to decide whether to go with chain of command, whether to go with event handler, whether to go with events, like this. Okay, I got one more thing. Okay, yeah, any other questions?
So can we
One
go
question.
without the chain of command?
Sorry,
Can we go without the chain of command directly with the event handler or
you can do that. You
custom
can do
method?
that. It's not mandatory to use chain of command. You can do that. But as a best practice, we will go with chain of command. If it is not possible, then only we will go for events and event handlers.
So we can write on custom method also for that?
Yeah, you can. You can create a event handler. In the event handler, you can create one more static method. You can call it.
Okay, so it is not compulsory to go
Yeah,
with
it's not compulsory to go with chain of command. You need
and
to
one
check
more
the requirement. Based on that, you need to decide. Yeah.
one more thing is can you suggest some good resource for this to go through this theoretical part or more example, even if
You
it
can
is
check in the MSDN here. That is the best resource. Okay. In Microsoft Docs, they have given
MS,
clearly about chain of command. You can do that.
no, but MSDN will be very huge, it's not easy to follow.
That's the only way, because remember, Dynamics 365 is designed by Microsoft. So Microsoft documents, we will get all the information. Okay. Even if it is huge and even if it is hard, we need to learn that. We need to take time and then we need to learn that. We should not stop learning. Okay. And when you are
Okay.
going through MSDN, if you have faced any issues or if you have any questions, you can ping me on WhatsApp or you can ask me here. I will resolve them.
Okay.
Okay.
Kumar,
Okay,
you
this
mentioned this switch
extension.
case.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue, please.
Yeah, is the extension 1 and 2? When you mean, like, is it just a sequence of extension, or is it any connection
It's a
between 1 and 2?
sequence.
Okay.
There will be no, it's a sequence. Okay. Now if I go to the application explorer, I can go to cust parameters and I can create one more extension. That is my extension 2. Okay.
So method call should not depend on the sequence, that sequence, right?
Exactly. That's what I said. Because the method call can be anything that is defined by the kernel. Okay. Let's say you have created 4 extensions. It's not like that. Fourth one will get called first. Third one will get called next, like that. Okay. This is what mentioned in the MSDN. Okay. But as I have seen a lot of times, it is always calling in a sequence 4, 3, 2, 1. But in MSDN, they said that it will not get called in a sequence. It can be anything.
Okay.
Okay, it's not guaranteed.
Yeah. Okay.
Next.
Well, you mentioned the switch case, the situation.
Hmm?
So we cannot bypass in such cases the standard host like that, anything?
Actually, to bypass, there are few attributes, but currently it is not allowed. Okay,
Okay.
because they have provided a few attributes. 1 second, I don't remember that name. There is one attribute we can bypass, but if you want to do that, you need to raise a request with Microsoft. You need to justify it, and if the Microsoft architect agrees for that, he will approve it, and then he will provide you that attribute. Okay,
But in case
because
of
even
switch,
if you
that
want to
is
use the
legal.
chain of command, 1 second, even if you want to use chain of command, there are two attributes, hookable and wrappable. They should be true, then only you can use COC, otherwise not. Okay, in few places you will see hookable and wrappable will be set to false because they don't want to allow us to use COC on them. Okay, so it depends on all these things. Yeah, next.
But this, okay.
Any other queries? Okay, so please try this. This is very interesting and this is very important because going further, there is no other way for customizations other than this. Okay, for tables, this is the only way you customize. Okay, if there are
I have
no,
a doubt
yeah, go ahead.
regarding debugging. Yesterday also I asked.
Hmm.
So you said if we have some standard screen and you don't have item to open.
Hmm.
So what does that mean if we don't have any item to open?
See here. Now what I am saying is, if you go to front end, okay, you can see there are a lot of screens already available. Did you design all the screens? Did you design? No, they are already designed by the Microsoft and we got them. So if you want to debug that, can you add that object to your project? No. Now, for example, let's say I want to debug this same cust table screen itself. Okay, I will go to the forms and then I have the cust table. Okay, I have the cust table. Can I add it to the project? No, I can't add it to the project. Can I set it as the startup object? It's not possible. There is no startup object option. Then can you press F5 and debug it? Can you do that? It's not possible like that. So what you need to do? You need to go to the form, again, the cust table, and then you need to view the code from here. It will open the code. Okay, 1 second, it is taking time. And then if you want to add a breakpoint, you can add breakpoint in whatever the method you need, and you need to go to debug, attach to process. This is how it works. Okay, and then you need to attach the IIS Express in case of Azure VM, W3WP in case of local VM. This is what I said. Now let's say this is not the case. Now I have an object called table methods. This is my own creation. So I can set it as the startup object and I can simply run this. So there is no need of attaching the process. When I run this, it will attach the process and then it will execute automatically. This is the difference. Got it?
Okay, so whenever we set as a startup project, we don't need to attach the process.
Yes, because when you are setting as a startup object, when you run the code, it will attach W3WP process automatically. In case of Azure VM, IIS Express process will get attached automatically. Got it?
Yeah.
Next, any other queries? Okay, if there are no other queries, I will end session for everyone. Thanks all for the session. Let's meet again tomorrow same time. Thank you all. Bye.